Gemini, welcome to Healing Hype Man, where I do messages for self. Try to bring awareness to the relationship to yourself. So this is all about you. And hopefully I try to remind you of who you actually are. We're going to get into your monthly here. We're going to look at your current energy, your challenge in reverse, and in the near future. I'm talking about astrology. It's Gemini risings. Could very well resonate for Gemini suns. Let's dive in. Gemini. I'm ruled by Gemini like you wouldn't believe. Your current energy is a high priestess. Starting off big. Your challenge is a six of swords reversed. You're stuck. You don't... we're going to get into mental health here. You're not traveling. And in the near future, we have the temperance. The reason why I say you're not traveling is because your ninth house, everything's happening in Aquarius this month for everyone. And for Gemini rising, Aquarius, your Aquarius house would be your ninth house of like travel and higher education. Yeah, Mercury, Mars there. Venus is going to join that as well. Perhaps you're thinking about that. Thinking about going somewhere or doing something or leveling up in your knowledge, right? Mercury is in Aquarius. Like, you could be really optimistic and really unconventional in the way that you think. And your current energy is like, High Priestess can be interpreted in so many ways here. What came to me is like, you're in a power. You're in a different kind of power here. I'm going to read it in different ways, but that was the first thing. I'm just like, ooh, you're like deep, right? You're in a deep space. And then we have in your challenge is the Six of Swords in reverse, which is why I went to the mental health aspect of like, perhaps there's something that's keeping you stuck from actually doing what you want to do. It could be travel. It could be expanding something in your life. It could be wanting to, do something different with your career at the same time with... Jupiter's in your 12th house. Taurus, Jupiter's in Taurus. It's your 12th house. Your mind, your mental health, how you view yourself could definitely be expanding to a whole different realm. Perhaps you're like starting to find deep things about yourself, like aha moments, revelations, secrets. I'm going to say this here, Gemini rising. I wouldn't be surprised if you start falling in love with the things that have once held you back. You start falling in love with your shame. You start falling in love with your failures, how you perceive them to be failures, and you're starting to integrate them into a place of like balance and harmony, like falling in love with everything that you felt has held you back. And oh my gosh, I had this download the other day, or actually today. It's you're coming to terms with letting go. You're coming to terms with what happened in the past, what has held you back. And if you're integrating that into a space of like, what more can I do? What more can I learn now that I know what possibly has been holding me back? Perhaps some of you might have been sitting in chaos and depression. But the challenge is that you're either in it or you're identifying it. You're identifying what has held you back for so long. And again, for you, travel, higher education, learning, is it knowledge? This information, and yours is just differently, it's the same spread I've done for all of them, but yours is just different because where it's taking you is to like a level of peace. Like, your challenge is, for me as a mental health professional, as a therapist, this is not a challenge. Let's go at this. Let's go right after it, right? Like, let's attack this like right on the money. Like as a facilitator of spiritual work and like taboo things and unconventional things, like I hope that I trigger you. And as a therapist, I hope that I trigger you, because when you press the trigger, you're going to reveal a lot about yourself And the more that you come to terms with things that trigger you, the more you really can gain self-mastery here. This is wild. What am I doing here? Tell me about this High Priestess. One card. No, 3 cards. Okay. Your present energy. Ace of Wands, 10 of Wands, 9 of Swords. Again, you're starting to identify what has held you back. What has been the weight on your shoulders. You're finding new things to be interesting in your life. Things that once worried you perhaps are coming to the light. Like, this is such a healing, like you're coming to like this like level of like awareness, which is really what I try to promote here, right? Like, and it's the relationship with yourself, right? Like, you fall in love with yourself and all aspects and things that you've carried and things that have made you anxious. And at the same time, things that spark your interest, like that's all awareness, right? Tell me about this 6 of Wands, 6 of Swords in reverse. See, and I keep wanting to say 6 of Wands, which is victory. I think that this is a victory. Like, I think that you identifying what has been holding you back will become a victory. 2 of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, the Hermit here, healing. You're going within here. You're really going after something here. You're afraid to be spontaneous, or you're being spontaneous and going down the rabbit hole and going a little bit deep into yourself, into what I have been juggling for years, perhaps even your impulses. What's holding you back is your impulses. That could be another thing there. I think this is what's really telling me is like, I think you should handle this. You should go after this. You should dig into this. What's holding me back? For some of you that might be sitting in depression or chaos, I'm going to give you 3 tips here. It's radical acceptance. I accept that I am depressed. I accept that I am in this situation, but it's not going to stop me. Intentional distraction. Go and distract yourself and do something that is going to take you away from being depressed or or thinking about that negative situation. Examples is like go do a puzzle, go record a video, go cook a new recipe. Go and do something for someone else, because within those 10 minutes or that hour, you're not thinking about the thing that's holding you back. Intentional distraction, radical acceptance, intentional distraction, and behavior activation. Go and do the one thing that you really don't want to do. I know. The one thing that you really don't want to do. Because I think if you move your body, I also love somatic therapy, like something's being held in your body here, and I think it's internal, right? And perhaps it needs to be moved. If I'm looking at this, the 2 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, it's like you need to move. You need to move. You need to move. Perhaps you've been sulking for too long here. You need to move. You need to move. Because there's going to be you will find some sort of light in this search and what has been holding you back. What's been holding you back from traveling? What's been holding you back from your biggest aspiration? What's been holding you back from going back to school? I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Like, what's been holding you back? I'm going to ask that question. The Strength card. Do I pull more? 5 of Cups. Things not working out. Your confidence playing this game of ebb and flow. Confidence going up, confidence goes down. Ego goes up, ego goes down. What's the other word that I want to use? Arrogance. As a Gemini rising, I can just tell you that I've noticed that my arrogance gets the best of me sometimes and puts me back in bad patterns and bad situations that I have been highlighted to me. But if I didn't go through them, I would have never been aware of this. So perhaps I'm telling you is to go through it so that you can be aware of this. What's holding you back is confidence, things that have not worked out in the past. You're still harping on the past here, and perhaps an aspect of emotional connection. 3 very valid points in this day in 2024. I almost feel like this isn't the first time that you're addressing this either, right? But I think that once you identify like how much the ebb and flow of your confidence, like the bravery that you have, perhaps you're scared to do certain things, right? But worried that things might not actually work out in your favor. And will you be emotionally invested in it, or do you have emotional investments into things? Perhaps there's a lack of emotional investment. Perhaps there's a lack of emotional connection into the things that you do and the people around you. So we identify the thing that's holding us back, and then we go into this temperance energy. Typically, I would say, well, how do we get past this? But we know we have to go through this in order to get past it. Six of Swords, like we have to go through it in order to get past it. Reverse, we have to go through it in order to get past it. So tell me a little bit more about this temperance. And there's the Tower card. What a change! What a relief. Two of Cups, connection. You reconnect with yourself. What did I start this off with? The relationship with yourself. And the Devil. Removing ties, attachments, commitments, and vows that are no longer serving you in the highest way. When you face what is holding you back from living your most biggest dream, your travel dream, your educational dream, what your friends look like, what group settings, maybe perhaps for some of you, you might benefit from connecting with people from other countries, other places, maybe even learning a new language, to be honest, just throwing you some astrology things there that could very well resonate with you. I want to see what the other house is. I just want to see what else could very well, I can give you some insight here into that might benefit you here. If this is the 12th house, Jupiter is in the 12th. Perhaps you're taking work very seriously. Perhaps traveling or learning something new can really give you back your confidence to remind you of who you are. Again, the relationship with yourself will drastically change when you dig into what has been holding you back. Like when I say like drastically change, I mean like life changing. Like we're talking like the connection to yourself, the connection to others, how you view others, how you view other people, how other people view you. I feel like there's like I don't really care type of vibe there. Like I constantly say the more self-work that we do, the more understanding with the relationship with ourself that we gain, the more awareness that we gain, the harder it is to engage in the society that we live in. And you might be better off like in another country, like living on an island somewhere. Because you're not going to want to step back into where you came from. The things you once liked, the things you once toxically liked. Example, like you love Bad Boys, like you love Bad Boys, and then you go through this journey of like seeing what's holding you back, and you realize like that's the last thing that you actually want. This was just rapid fire here, Gemini. Wildly rapid fire, and I can't believe I did all that in 13 minutes here. It's Pulmonology. You are good enough. What did I tell you? You're going to get 3. Work through your fears. Ding, ding, ding. Your commitment is being tested. Oh, boy. And I wouldn't be surprised that if I'm going to say it, you fail, but the moment you fail, 2 days later, you're like, wow. Like, wow, that was wild. Then the awareness kicks in. Because it's not going to be sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. I expect you to fail. I expect you to not know. I expect you to dig in. I expect you to take one step back so you can take 6 leaps forward. That is the expectation here on Healing Hype Man. So let's do it, right? My name is Alvin Catalan. I'm present. I'm done speaking now.